Hello, I'm Keith from the bada team of Samsung Mobile. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about emails in bada applications. More specifically, how we can create an email within a bada application, add an attachment to it, and send it. This video is one of the essential bada series, which we're hoping will assist you with the basics of application design. Make sure you check out our videos on YouTube and our blog at developer.bada.com for the rest of the series. The messaging namespace in bada provides a number of classes and interfaces for managing multiple messaging formats. These include SMS, MMS, and email. Each messaging type provides its own interface class to receive related status events. Before it is possible for a bada application to send an email, we need to ensure that the email account that you will be sending from is correctly configured within the device. Under Settings, Applications, Email Settings, Email Accounts, add the email account that will be used to send the email from within the bada application. This action will normally have been completed by the user. Without this account present, it will not be possible for a bada application to send an email. As we're covering email, we'll start with an overview of the interfaces and classes that relate to email within the bada platform. As we can see, 4 distinct objects are required to create and send an email message. The messaging namespace also provides an email-specific interface class whose role is to report asynchronous events to your application about the current email activity. The Email Manager class is probably the most important class for email creation as it pulls together the other required email objects. The Email Manager is the object responsible for sending the created email. When this object is constructed, it will be required to be passed a pointer to the event listener that will handle the status of the email sending. iEmailListener. The interface class iEmailListener will report to your application a status report following the sending of an email. Regardless of how many recipients are supplied for the email, only one status report is provided. Email message. An object of this class is responsible for setting the email subject text, the body text, and specifying the location, that is the local path, of any media file that you wish to add as an attachment to the email. Recipient list. An object of this class will allow you to add recipients, those are email addresses, for your email to the familiar fields to, CC, and BCC. Multiple recipients are allowed and methods exist to allow management, that is the adding, removal, and setting of all the recipients. Let's create an example. To illustrate the use of email within bada, we will create a simple bada application that from variable user input will create an email and send it to the provided recipients. Included in this example will be an ability to add an attachment. We will create a simple email form that will have a number of edit fields and edit areas. It will be possible to complete these fields with information related to your email. 2 buttons will exist on the form that will be titled Add and Send. These buttons will allow for the adding of attachments limited to simple photo selection and to facilitate the sending of the email. The status area will also exist next to the Add button, into which textual information will be provided. This will simply provide the textual data showing the path of the local file that is attached to the email. In this example, the focus is not so much on the form, but more so on the necessary messaging objects that you'll need to create and how they work together. Using the project wizard, we have created a simple form-based project. The simple form that the wizard provides us will have been made our email form. So to it, we will populate it with all the necessary controls we've described earlier. The edit field and edit area controls will allow us to populate the necessary strings which will be used to create and send the email. These strings will be M2, MSubject, and MBody. The MAttachment string will hold the path to the local file that will be attached to the email. The next step will be to create an email manager object and construct it with a handle to our email listener. We will pass the this pointer to the construct method, as the email form class has it inherited from the iEmailListener class and implements the necessary onEmailMessageSent method. Now we start to complete the body of our email. We will create an email message object for that. With an email message object, we can set the subject, body text, and provide paths to files we wish to add to our email. The following code segment will use the strings mSubject, mBody, and mAttachment that will have been completed through the user interacting with the email forms editors. To the email message object, we can pass the textual input we've obtained from the user for the email subject and body text. We can also set the path of any selected media file for the attachment. The email message object takes string variables to set these values. The next step is to add recipients. We use a recipient object for that. For simplicity, our email application will only complete entries to the to field of the recipient list. Again, the string variable m2 will have been completed by the user via the email form, invoking the edit field control. Here we can see the use of the recipient object to add the email address of those who will receive a copy of our email. Once we've created a recipient list object, providing the user has entered a valid recipient, we add the string object containing the email address to the recipient object. For this simple example, we'll assign the user's input to the to field. The final step is to utilize our existing email manager object to combine the email message and recipient list objects and then to send our email message. Calling send on our email manager object will send our email. Note, to the send method we pass our completed email message and recipient objects. The following code shows how we send an email. Having verified that the recipient list object does indeed contain an email address, we can then call send on the email manager object. To this object we pass the email message and recipient objects. The last true parameter indicates that the email being sent will be stored in the sent box of the native email client of the device. Let's take a look at our email app in action. First, we build our application and run it in the simulator. The email form is displayed and we enter the email recipient, in this case a Hotmail address that we've set up for use in this video. Next, we type in the subject and the message text. Finally, we add an attachment, in this case a picture. We then click send to send the message. The message has been sent successfully. If we open up Hotmail in our browser, we can see that the message has been successfully received. Let's check the attachment. Extensive documentation will be provided within the SDK, and there'll be further updates and technical walkthroughs available on our website. In this video, we introduced you to how emails can be created and sent within the bada platform. We particularly focused on the email listener, email manager, and recipient list classes.